Call our regular meeting to order. Recording and/or broadcast of this meeting is being made at the direction of the board, which may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Start by calling the roll. Steve. Here. Vladimir. Here. Shally.
Here.
Jessica.
Here.
I am also here. Everyone is in attendance. Nobody is in the audience. We will not be public. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would any board members like to provide comment on the agenda? Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. No action was taken in closed sessions. We'll move straight to superintendent's update.
Yeah, and it's very brief. Of course, school ended last Wednesday, last day. Celebrations across all of our campuses, students moving on to the next grade, our sixth graders promoted into junior high. We all got to attend the Egan and Block graduation. We're just so great. Always a fun time of year to celebrate the good things that have happened at our schools. We started ESY today, our extended school year. So we have here at Covington a handful of classrooms and students spending half of their day with us, which is terrific. So a little thank you to our special ed department who was working really hard to get that set up. The shift is pretty quick from school getting out on Wednesday to students coming here from all over the district on Monday. So thank you. And they will be here through, I believe the last day of school is July 5th. And then we have that June 19th, the Juneteenth holiday. So we'll be on for that holiday, off for the 4th of July, and then the final day for ESY is June 5th. And then we have our summer camps moving in. I think I heard from Mrs. Callis that the Capelon Sports Camp was up and the whistles were going early this morning and the music was going. So all of our schools are housing a variety of camps for the community students or kids within the community across all of our campuses. One thing on my mind, so I told you in my weekly update on Friday that that's kind of my official end for the weekly updates. I will certainly communicate with you over the summer as things come up, but I've really been thinking about how I want to structure our time outside of board meetings. One of my goals is to get you all out to school sites more consistently and have opportunities for that. So I've been thinking about what that might look like, whether it's a 2-on-1 meeting and then a tour of a campus and some time to chat with staff members. So I'm working on that. You should expect kind of a new plan, and I will calendar things out once we resume in the fall.
Are you gonna take us on tours of summer school?
Oh, yeah.
You did in the past.
Yes, so our expanded learning opportunity program, I believe, starts July 29th. Is that the right date? July 29th over at both Santa Rita and at Ullman. So if anybody wants to visit ESY, I'm happy to arrange something. And then if you would like to visit the ELOC program in early August, late July, I'm happy to arrange that too. Yeah, I'll put that out in advance so you don't forget. So I don't forget. Yep.
Okay. Very good. Moving on to the consent calendar. Would any board members like to provide comment on the consent calendar? Or provide a motion to approve said calendar?
I'll second.
Motion to approve the consent calendar as presented, made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to employee request to address the board. I see no employees in the audience.
Okay.
Move on to community comments. To provide public comments on agenda items, speaker cards are to be submitted to the superintendent. Speaker cards will not be accepted once public comment on an item begins. Your name will be announced when it's your turn to speak.
Is the only member of the public
See anybody rushing to provide comment on items not on the agenda? So we'll move straight on to H1, local indicators for the California dashboard.
Thank you. So this will just be a brief update. We reviewed the data in the prior LCAP presentation. So I just want to mention that we're required to post the local indicators for the California dashboard. And there's 5 areas: basic conditions of schools, so that's our facilities, standards of implementation, parental involvement, our local climate survey, and the broad course of study. And the district is meeting requirements in each of these areas. I think that it was in there.
Discussion? No? All right, seeing none, I guess we move on to H2, summer facility projects.
We're trying to do, and as you know, we had held a study session earlier today to review parts of the master planning process and how that's been going. It's very clear that there are a tremendous amount of facility needs at all 9 of our schools. So we wanted to talk a very high overview of some things that we're going to try to address this summer, and using a variety of different funding mechanisms. So we've identified the following list of high priority needs at our school sites. Various lamp replacements at most of the school sites. We've been doing that kind of an ongoing. The last year, we did a couple of classrooms, and we've been kind of pecking away at some of them. I met some electrical contractors and sat with them for most of the day this last Saturday over at Block Intermediate School. And we were able to do some LED lamp retrofits. Instead of spending a lot of money to replace all the lights, while we're ongoing master planning, we felt it'd be more prudent to just do some lamp replacements. We're also trying to see if there's some other funding mechanism through the Energy Commission. So we're going to explore those options. You heard Brent McClure, CAW Architects, talk about the pavement and asphalt. We're going to try to get some seal coating done this summer to protect the asphalt. It's much more cost effective to do seal coat to protect the asphalt and replace it. We previously, at previous meeting, we approved a contract with Mobile Modular to remove some portable classrooms this summer. And then some maintenance that we talked about previously about the CalShape grant. So there's a lot of big things going on. And so we're going to keep the kind of the momentum going with that master planning. But we know we can't get all the needs done, and this is just going to be a real quick high level overview. Lighting has been failing. We've been slowly going through classrooms. Those are the old fluorescent tubes. They're called T8 bulbs. And as they get older and older, the ballast will sometimes fail and you can't find the parts. We can do some lamp replacements. So we've been doing some of those at the campuses. And we've really did a lot of work at Block, Allman and Springer. And we're trying to slowly go through the rest of the classrooms, get the worst classrooms done first and kind of prioritize them that way. The HVAC at many schools is past its useful life. Repairs are very costly, and sometimes it's not feasible to keep replacing or trying to keep repairing things. It's more cost effective just to replace it. So as units have been dying, we've been replacing them. But there's a lot of old units. Many of them are past 20 years old, which is about the normal lifespan of an HVAC unit. Some of the controls for the exterior lighting and HVAC controls are obsolete, and those need to be upgraded eventually. So we're really trying to do our best with limited resources and just try to keep the facilities running as best as possible. There are a selected number of portables that are going to be removed this summer, and that's really to prepare for future modernization needs. But then some of the classrooms, there's a better use for those rooms elsewhere on campus at Covington. They had some extra rooms, so we're going to be moving some teachers around a little bit, and that's going to actually save us some rental income because we are renting a lot of these portables, which I mentioned earlier. So we're looking forward to getting some of these removed. We're shooting for the last week of July, pending all the other subcontractor schedules. So we're shooting to get that done this summer at Springer and at Covington. And then some of the asphalt, as you can see, these are really pictures of Covington and some of the asphalt areas in the back. It does need a serious seal coat. It's very complicated though. As Sandra mentioned, there's a lot of camps going on. So we really can't shut down the parking lots on a Monday through Friday. So we're going to try to do some of the work on a Saturday or Sunday and do the striping sometimes on the weekends. It's not very intrusive to the neighbors, not a lot of noise that happens, but it's really hard to get into our parking lots to do that. So those are some high level projects we're gonna be working on. Some measure end projects will be the parking lot asphalt seal coat. Our estimated number right now is 170,000. We're working on trying to get the timing of that scheduled. And then the parking lot upgrades at DSA's requirements to do for the shade structure part. We did that project last summer at Gardner Bullis. And DSA is finally approving DSA ADA, America with Disabilities Act, we have to upgrade the parking lot stalls to be ADA compliant. And that's where we're estimating about $165,000 to do that. And then the portable removal project is about $275,000 for our budget. And then deferred maintenance and routine maintenance will be funding some lamp replacements and retrofits. And then the CalShape grant, which we've talked about, is about $1,039,000 to be exact. And that will be some ongoing projects. Most of these have been scheduled already, and we're hoping to get most of these done by the time people come back in August. But it's a very quick, high-level overview, and happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Yes.
Or two.
Yes.
Are any of the blacktop, the play blacktops being, you seen them touched?
Probably, most of the black tops where the kids play in the playground areas is in decent condition. We probably don't need to do it this summer, but we're gonna do mostly the parking lots.
The reason I asked for the question is, personally, I've always hated black asphalt. And the other thing was it raises the temperature. Is there any alternative to black?
Not that I know. You know, I'm sure you.
Orange is the new black.
Yes. You know, one of the issues is, sometimes they do a lot of striping, for all the different, games that the kids play. And, that's done in different colors sometimes, but, you have to be careful painting asphalt because you want to have a little grit to it. If you start painting in all the different colors, it becomes very slippery. So that's why the asphalt has a little bit of grit to it. So,
The other question I had was, these lights here,
yes,
these are the old ones?
yes, they are. Those are probably, I mean, I would, if I just didn't estimate, they're probably about 20 years old at least.
All right.
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you very much. This was a good discussion, I think. So we'll move on to H3 BCS charter renewal.
Yes, so since we last met, I wanted to make sure that you all know, and I attached, the document that Village Charter School held a meeting last Sunday, not last night, but a week ago Sunday, where they approved their charter renewal petition. The document wasn't uploaded, so I requested from the county that we could get a copy of that document. So I shared that with you, and some members of the community are able to access the document, but I've heard from, Ms. Farley, I believe is her last name, Mifula. Right, Fairly, thank you. At the county, I've just been inquiring about kind of timeline and what this looks like, so I'm still working through that, but it looks like there will be a hearing on July 17th, where the county will have an opportunity to talk about their charter renewal to the county board. We will have an opportunity to have up to 10 minutes as the impacted district to provide comments to the county board. And then members of the community will also have public comment, obviously. So that's something that we'll be working on, because I do believe it's in our interest to provide some comment to the county board on July 17th. And then from there, I'm trying to understand what the final deadline is. It's not so clear to me yet. I think they're working with the charter school to understand what the final decision day will be. Let you know when I know. But just wanted to make sure you were all aware.
Can I just ask, did any of us board members, did you all know that the meeting was on Sunday evening? I would
No.
have liked to have attended.
None of us,
No,
none of us.
Sunday
Yeah.
evening.
They did it as a special meeting, they agendized it. I'm assuming if they agendized it legally, they agendized it 24 hours and 1 minute in advance, because that's commonly practiced. I don't know why they would do it the day before the regular meeting, except to avoid public comment.
I mean, I think even if you agendize it 24 hours in advance, who's paying attention on Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, that's too bad.
And it
That
was
would've
not
been good.
attached, they don't attach any of their documents, for their agenda. For anything,
Yeah, not,
it's not very transparent, let's
Yeah.
just say that, we are very transparent, most everything that
Yeah.
we're commenting on and voting on.
I think some of
Attached.
our families that are very interested would have liked to have at least watched that meeting.
I
I
did-
went,
No, I'm sorry. I did watch the SCCOE meeting this past Wednesday. They did give a preliminary schedule, which was that July 17th, and then on some August date was another follow-up date, and then September 4th is what they're trying to be the decision date. But it's a day after the 90 days. So they're trying to get BCS to agree to that extra day. And it's, I think it's holiday or whatever, that's why. Anyway. Just share that information.
I went to the BCS website to look up financial data.
Yeah.
2021 was the last budget I could find. On the website there, and I took a look at it, and it's hardly informative. Is the word I would use. If you look at the renewal thing, one of the very first things they put up there is the comparison of BCS students against LASD students on the CASP tests. And it looks terrible. BCS 112, Santa Rita 43. But what's not known is that that is the number of points above 2,432 that the students scored. And it turns out that the difference between BCS and the worst LASD school is only 3.2%. So that's the way they presented it. It makes it look that we are just awful.
It's misleading.
What's that?
I'll just say it's misleading.
Yes, it's misleading.
Good.
Another thing that I found was misleading was BCS claims that it serves more special ed students than 4 out of the 9 LASD schools. But they know that we have special day classes only at certain schools. So it would be expected that one school would have its special day class students go to another school, and hence that school would have a lower special ed number of special ed students. I also found out, much to my surprise, that BCS will hold a public random drawing, but I don't know where. And we can all attend. You see,
We only knew where and when.
yes, they posted eventually. And the last thing I want to comment on is that they mentioned in a couple of different places that the law says that the county will not deny a charter to a high-performing school, which is correct, but that doesn't mean that they can't approve it with stipulations. I think they should, actually. That's all I wanted to say.
I have a question for staff. Considering some of this misleading quote unquote data, this information, are we going to put out anything to, or at least at this July 17th meeting, correct some of this? I mean, I read also in there that they have the highest percentage of BIPOC students. And I think that when a school is over 80% Asian, they may have a higher percent, but they're not diverse. And so there is like nuances to this that I think that we need to call out.
Yep.
And also, I mean, this is just me saying this. I don't know that you want to say this to the County Office of Education, but why do we hold them at such a low bar? Of course, they're going to be high performing because they're drawing from a high performing district. So, I mean, I don't know how we get that point across, but it's all very misleading.
I agree that there should be some communication, perhaps that we send, and perhaps it can be from Sandra or it can be from the board. Because you'll be presenting for those 10 minutes, maybe something from us in a correcting, correcting some of the data and as along the lines of what you said and what, Vladimir has said, they're comparing their data to individual schools too, and they draw from the entire district. So doing the individual schools and not actually in some cases having what our entire district has, they're only comparing different schools and not having the entire district data. That's misleading. And what else did I have here? And then they make these comparisons up to the subgroups that they've been called out on. But they don't really give us the demographics of those subgroups. So like when it comes to, they say their Hispanic students are better performing against our students, but we don't know what the socioeconomic status of those Hispanic students are. Or English language learner, again, we don't know the socioeconomic status of those English language learners. And then as it relates to special education, we do not know what special education they're receiving. Is it low, moderate, severe? Those are pieces of information that they are not sharing, and again, misleading. So it's something we should definitely make sure the county understands.
Can I just ask you a quick? just to
Yeah.
clarify.
Yeah.
Is that something that we can ask the county to ask them for more granular data?
And the thing is I think we may be able to find some of the data, but yes, I think they should be asking. And we should, along the lines of what Vladimir said, intimated that yes, possibly they shall be renewed. That's what they kept on harping on, the
Shall not be denied.
shall not be denied, or either way, they're basically saying they shall be renewed because they're high performing, which again, they're high performing because they're in a top 1% district in the state. That's quite easy to do. But we should push for conditions if they're going to renew them. One of the conditions I like is a neighborhood preference for their school for Northville Camino Real. I think it's a good one.
Yeah.
And honestly, that they truly do mirror our district in all demographics, which we asked in 2019. And the 10% for, sorry.
That's okay, no problem. One other thing you reminded me, there appears a table in two different places, actually, which lists the percentage of African American students, the
Yes.
percentage of Hispanic, and all that. At the bottom, it has BCS rank. And if you look at, for instance, the African American, the very first column there.
Yeah.
It says the rank of BCS is 8 out of 10. Now, to me, that means they're at the top. But what it actually means, they're 8 out of 10. And so that's, I think,
Oh, more misleading.
they're exactly the opposite
Yeah.
of what you would normally assume.
Are they assuming that no one is reading this very carefully?
600 pages.
For anybody, even if they're from the school community, it wasn't posted to be, that I have been able to see it, certainly not.
There were some really interesting parts.
Reminds me of the Saturday Night Live skit, or I think I shared this with you, Sandra. Where they have like the fact checking at the end of the. Yeah, I don't know, I would, so I have a question though, so they're according to AB 1505 and all of that, that can come out later. If they were a brand new charter now, they would probably not get approved. But it's only because they're grandfathered. So I think it's I get the whole grandfathering thing, I just think it's very disappointing that we would be not we, the state would be, or the county would be grandfathering in a charter that would not have otherwise passed or been approved under the new charter laws. So,
And I think it's important as part of our July 17th 10-minute deal to talk about the financial impact. I think that's one of the reasons why they would not be
exactly.
approved.
If you look at their quoting of the law, which is, which they say shall not be denied except for, and they list 8 or so different reasons. One of them is does not serve all students in the district.
Right.
So that is, and the law apparently says any one of these is grounds for denial. So it's potentially, it could be banned.
Well, whatever, I think they'd had some sort of plan with the county to diversify their student body, and whatever efforts they had made led to a less diverse student body. So I hope the county considers that as well.
So one of the other things they do is they have, for some demographic, 1.5%, and it goes up to 2%. Right? That's a 33% increase.
I will work on our plan and chat with you all and
Yeah, and then, I mean, we have a meeting on the 24th. Is there anything you feel you need for formal approval?
not.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I wonder what they say about that.
thank you.
Sure.
Moving on to item 4, 2024-25 local control and accountability plan.
Back on June 3rd, we brought forward our draft LCAP as well as our annual update, the federal addendum and the budget review for parents, public hearing and also presentation. This evening, we'd like to ask for the board's approval.
Are there any questions from the board? Any public comment? All right, any further discussion, or would someone like to make a motion?
So
I'll second.
Motion to approve the 2024-25 local control and accountability plan made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. Absent any further board discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to item 5, the 2024-25 district budget.
So last week, we were able to review the annual budget for the 24-25 fiscal year. Public hearing, and tonight we're going to be asking the board to approve the LCAP and the budget. They cannot be done at the same meeting, so last year was the opportunity for the public to give input and feedback. We held that last week on June 3rd. Tonight, we're scheduling adoption. And then what we did is we attached the presentation just kind of at the end as kind of an appendix. All the budget documents meet the state criteria and standards. We also included the school district's 3-year budget complies with SB 858, which is the reserve cap. And we're asking the board to approve the 24-25 budget as it's presented.
Any questions?
um,
Go ahead.
we're being asked to approve this budget before great uncertainty in the state budget.
As
It may not
usual,
affect us, but
yeah.
it does affect all schools, other schools.
The good news is that we get bites of a different apple. It's a living, it ends up being.
Any questions, public comment? Any further discussion, or would someone like to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion to approve the 2024-25 district budget made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to item 6. Resolution 23/24-22, authorizing budget transfers between major accounts and the year-end transfer to balance the budget as necessary.
Sure, we do this as an annual item. This enables us to close the books, transfer any expenses to any restricted funds, balance the budget, pay any and all of our obligations that occurred during the current fiscal year. As you know, anytime we have an expense, it has to be approved during the current fiscal year, which goes until the end of June. And this allows district staff to do all the budget transfers as we start closing the books. And then we'll be coming back to bring you back the unaudited actual in the first week in September. So we're asking the board to approve resolution 23/24-22 to allow us to do those budget transfers.
Questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion, absent public comment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve resolution 23/24-22 made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. Absent any further discussion, I will call the roll since it's a resolution. Steve,
Yes.
Vladimir,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes,
Jessica.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion passes 5-0. Item number 7, resolution 23/24-23, education protection account.
Yeah, this is an annual item. We have to approve a resolution of how the district plans on spending its education protection account. This was from Prop 30, now it's called Prop 55. It actually expires in 2030, and unless the state legislature renews it. And we're asking the board to approve our spending plan. 100% of the EP allocation for next year will be on certificated teachers. And then we'll also bring you back how we've actually spent the money. It'll be located on our district website, and we usually do that when we do our unaudited actuals of how we spend all the previous EPA funds from this current year. So tonight it's a resolution action item for resolution 23/24-23 regarding education protection, EPA.
Any questions from the board? Absent public comment, I will entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
second,
Motion to approve resolution 23/24-23 made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. It's a resolution. I will call the roll. Jessica,
Yes.
Shelley,
yes.
Vladimir,
Yes.
Steve. I also vote yes. Motion passes 5-0.
It's kind of mixing it.
You're on your toes. All right, item 8, employment agreement for renewal of consulting services by Randall A. Kenyon.
Sure, Randy Kenyon's been very involved in our tent site team, helping us with a lot of background and knowledge, and also helping with some of our coordination with the city of Mountain View as we're working on the joint use agreement, and has the most expertise. Has really been valuable for our team, and so we're asking the board to approve a renewal of his annual agreement for 1 more year as we start getting the tent site underway. And then we feel like this most likely be the last time we'll need Randy until the tent site gets under construction, which will be hopefully about this time next year.
Any questions from the board?
Are you sure he has enough experience in this?
He's fully qualified.
He said he never signed budget books, so I'm feeling pretty good right
Yeah.
now.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second,
Motion to approve the renewal of the consulting services agreement with Randy Kenyon, made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. Absent any further board discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Item 9, resolution 23/24-24, order of election.
All right, so this resolution will allow us to declare that we have 2 trustee seats open and placed on the ballot for the November 5th election. I think the details were in your packet, but the registrar of voters is really chomping at the bit for you all to pass this resolution so we can get on the ballot.
So what happens if we don't pass the motion?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I think we have some.
Registrar of voters gets very mad.
In that case, I want to move.
I'll second without any hesitation.
All right. Absent any public comment, motion to approve resolution 23/24-24 made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. Call the roll. Jessica,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes,
Vladimir,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion passes 5-0.
well,
Moving on to item 10, resolution 23/24-25, declaration of need for fully qualified educators.
So we come to you every year, this time of year, that gives us the flexibility. Right now, we are almost 100% staffed. We have a late resignation, maybe the day after school or the last day of school. But this gives us flexibility over summer, if we are unable to find a highly qualified teacher. That we have a little bit of flexibility to find an intern or a less qualified teacher to fill that spot until we are able to find.
Any questions? Okay. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second,
Motion to approve resolution 23/24-25, made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. Absent any further board discussion, I will call the roll. Steve. Yes. Vladimir.
Yes.
Shelley.
yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion passes 5-0. Item 11, amendment to the 2022 to 25 employment agreement. Superintendent of school.
Yes, so I don't know if it's possible to take three things together, but if you look at item 11, item 12, and item 13, these are amendments to my contract, to Dr. Bosco's and Mr. Walkevich's contract. And there's no financial change. We're really just changing the terms of the contract to line up. So our contracts would go from 23 through 25 to through 27. Thank you. Through 2027.
June 30th, 2026.
Yes.
Can we make a motion that lumps them all together?
I think we should probably take them separately just to be safe. There's lots of ed code around this kind of thing that I don't know off the top of my head. So I think we should probably vote 3 times.
Okay.
And just a note for 12 and 13, obviously, neither of them are superintendent of schools, so their respective titles should be on there, assistant super of ed services and a business services. But the agreements themselves.
Okay. Any further questions or discussion? So I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement with the superintendent of schools.
So moved.
No, second,
Motion to approve the amendment to the 2022-25 employment agreement with superintendent of schools made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. Absent any further board discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. We'll just move, unless anyone has any objection, we'll move straight to entertaining a motion for item 12 for
So
the
moved.
I'll second.
motion to approve the amendment to the 2023-25 employment agreement with Dr. Bosco, Assistant Superintendent, Education Services, made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. We'll move straight on to entertaining a motion to approve the amendment to Mr. Halakevich's
So moved.
Second,
motion to approve the amendment to the 2022-24 employment agreement with Mr. Walakevich, Assistant Superintendent, Business Services, made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. Absent any further board discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. That brings us to board and administration comments.
Nothing additional for me.
No, just saying thank you for the contract renewal and a wonderful second year.
Want to ditto that. And then also, well, the public know that 2 weeks ago, Sandra and I met with Moody's with our financial advisors. And the district bonds were upgraded to AAA. So we and it's really a testament to the district's strong financial position, really the right size staffing and really getting to a really good place financially. It'll save our taxpayers money whenever we go out for bonds. It's a really good news. And then another good thing we've been doing in the business office, we have a thing called weekly wins and opportunities. And so every Thursday by the end of the day, staff will put on a Google Doc and we share any like big projects. So I'll be adding this to the weekly wins of the budget of the bond rating. But then we also think of opportunities, things that we find that we want to make process improvements. We said, hey, we should have a form for that or whatever. And so it's really an opportunity for people to grow and learn and improve we really believe on continuous improvement. We share it with Sandra so she can see what we're doing and working on. It's a nice thing to highlight all the good things that our staff is doing. I was trying to get our staff to come to the study sessions. I could introduce the business staff, but a couple of them were running around. So we did, we'll see if we can bring them in another time. So thank you.
Yeah, it was mentioned before that we went to the block graduation. And I just wanted to comment that Jennifer was really excited. Jennifer was really excited because her kiddos were graduating. And she'd been with them starting 9 years ago. So she's really excited about it. It's really sweet.
I didn't know that. That is sweet.
that is really sweet. No, I just really enjoyed both of our junior high graduations, and I just wanted to make a brief comment about how beautiful it was. Graduations always make me emotional to say that, but the inclusivity of our students and how they embraced all of their peers was just such a beautiful thing to be. Thank you for that.
I loved all the graduations. I also went to one of the preschool graduations,
Aw.
cutest thing, pretty much ever. Don't get me wrong, the junior high students are great too, but.
You can't just pick them up and hug them.
Yeah, it's kind of frowned upon.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
All right, yeah, I have nothing further than last week or the next week.
Oh, we're supposed to take it.
Right, we all have to sign a piece of paper,
Oh,
so nobody.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are.